My name is Mario Baggio. I am the CEO for Alchemco, and I'm here representing the ITD working group. ITD is Innovative Technology Demonstration Work Group. So Nancy spoke very well shortly ago about how it's important the work between the agency and the industry. A lot of stuff that Nancy spoke about, the working group, I'm not going to repeat here, but I would like just to cover some of the things about the ITD. And before I talk about the ITD, I just would like to cover what we understand as being innovation. So the question is, what does innovation mean to you in the 21st century? So let's go back a little bit. Innovation for the Flintstones was to have a car like that. Innovation for the Jetsons was to have a Zoom call with your boss and a Roomba to vacuum the living room. Innovation for Back to the Future, if you guys remember, was the flux capacitor and the speed of 88 miles per hour. So as we can see here, innovation changes from time to time. So what we have done is, I think a good question is to try to understand what is innovation. In the end of the day, innovation is try to do something new. It's try to really look to the future and try to see what the future would look like today. So in order to get a better definition for innovation, what I did was I went to the infrastructure bill. So the infrastructure bill is the $1.2 trillion, as you might be aware. And very interesting, they talk specifically about innovation. So here are some of these words where they are describing what innovation means to the DOTs. So there's a bunch of words, and that's probably not the best way to write this down, but marketing did that. So let me get one of these words, future-proofing. So this is one of the topics, one of the words that the infrastructure bill uses to describe innovation. And what's very interesting is that future-proof means that this technology or this product is not going to become obsolete in the future. So whatever we're doing today, we're looking to the future, and we are making a decision today that that's going to make sense for the future. The reason why that's important is because we have an aging infrastructure. So we do need to look for innovative technologies. We do need to look for innovative solutions. As we see the growing number of 50-year-old structures, by 2050, these numbers over 500,000 bridges. So if we want to make sure that we are preserving these structures, that we maintain these structures in good shape, we cannot use tools from the past. There are a few interesting articles, and I mentioned that on a previous ITD presentation. One of them was an article that was comparing the construction industry, that's our industry, with our industries in the market. So we were comparing innovation in construction with innovation in agriculture, computer, communication, all of them. So as you guys can imagine, unfortunately, from the 90s until today, I don't have this chart here, it was a previous presentation, but from the 90s until now, the construction sector actually didn't innovate at all. It's way worse than it was before, which is hard to understand because when we compare our cars today with our cars from 30 years ago, or the communication today with communication 30 years ago, or I showed Roomba, I showed Zoom, a lot of this type of stuff, it's completely different now than it was 30 years ago. But for some reason, we keep using the same technologies, we keep doing the same thing instead of trying to innovate. There's also another article that's very interesting, that's the high cost of the lowest bidder. We do understand that sometimes it's very hard for a DOT, for an agency, to use a new technology because that new technology might be more expensive on day one. So it is more expensive on day one. The life cycle cost is great, but on day one is more expensive. On top of that, there might not be a category for that specific product or for that specific technology. So how are we going to handle a product that it's outstanding? I want to try this product in my county or my state. However, there's no such a product on this category. And in the end of the day, what the ITD does, I'm just going to give you some very brief examples here. The ITD is about new and existing bridges. So there are technologies available for new construction and for existing construction. The majority of these technologies, we're talking about a more durable structure, a longer lasting structure, something that's going to be the future proofing, exactly the term that I took from the infrastructure bill. So the large majority of these technologies that are present on the ITD, they are future proof. So they are looking to the future. So they're going to last longer than whatever we're doing that lasts 3 years, 5 years, or that we know that when we apply the product, it's something that we have been doing for 30 years, and probably we think there might be a better way to do what I'm doing right now. So what I would like to talk about the ITD, and that's specifically about the program, here are the partners. That's exactly what Nancy just spoke about. So we have the manufacturers. So the manufacturers are the industry producing the innovative technology or the innovative product. We have the consultants. The consultants, they play a very important role because they are the ones compiling the report. And what's very interesting about the report is that as this is done by a third-party consultant, the manufacturers are not cherry-picking the best case studies to show to the DOTs what we're doing. So every single project, good or bad, we're going to be able to show in these reports. We have the owner, which is the DOT. So the DOT here is responsible for closing the bridge, for example, making the traffic control. They're responsible for purchasing the material and for the manpower for the application. We have the TSP2 bridge and also academia. So here are some of the industry members. Many of these members, if not all of them, but the large majority of them, they are on the exhibit hall, and all of them, they have innovative technologies. So all of you guys here, we come to this event, it's a 3-day event, with a single mission. We come here to learn how we can do better what we're doing. When we go back home, we have to, I'm pretty sure someone's going to ask us, what did you learn? What was different that we're going to try to do in our state or our county or our DOT? And we have the unique opportunity to talk with these companies here and try to learn a little bit more about their technology and how their technology can help the DOTs to preserve and protect the structure. The ITD is absolutely looking for new industry members and also new agency members. So if you are a DOT engineer, if you want to join our group, we absolutely would love to have that opportunity to have you guys on board. There's something that we are trying to do, and this was Heather. Is Heather here? Yeah, there you go. So Heather suggested a few months ago to have what we call the ITD field installation event. So it's still a very, it's a work in progress idea, but the idea here is not to do a parking lot demonstration, but it's to do a hands-on installation of these products. So we would go to a specific DOT, a specific state. We would try to use as many solutions from the ITD into one specific structure. And when we think about that, some of the technologies, for example, if you're closing a bridge to do the expansion joints, you might also use that opportunity to use some of the repair materials, some of the waterproofing materials, some of the other systems that are present on the ITD, and you're already closing the bridge, which is the most expensive and the most time-consuming thing that we're doing on a project. So the idea here is to try to maximize multiple demonstrations and hands-on demonstrations on a single project. So we have a team from North Carolina and also Heather that we are trying to work on how we can make that happen. And in order to conclude my presentation, the goal is really, we are here to bring new technologies to the DOTs. We cannot go back home and repeat the same technologies, the same products, the same methods that we have been doing for 20, 30 years because, well, that's the way we always do it. We have always done it. So there's always a better way of doing it. And that's one of the goals for the DOTs. And my last slide is, we're not there yet. We're not like Back to the Future where we no longer need roads. For the time being, we still need roads. So why don't we try to find a way to better protect these structures and make these strong structures last longer? And these are the members of the ITD. If you do have any questions about the ITD, you can ask myself, Mario. We have Kyle from Foscrete, Nancy, and Darlene as well, and all the industry members that are on the exhibit hall. Thank you very much.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.